Okay guys, so it's Sunday morning and we're going to attempt to make the barrel chair that I did with the farm table, and people have asked me to do a video to show how I made this. It's just mat board and cardboard that I recycled from stuff around the house. So today I'm going to use a piece of this cardboard and mat board, and the mat board that I use is this. I get it on Amazon. I think it's like a pack of 15 sheets for like $8, but I really like that. So what I did, because I found the picture for the chair that I liked on Pinterest, but I couldn't find it in miniature size, so I had to figure out, I had to figure out how to make it in miniature from looking at the picture. So I borrowed this handy dandy little thing from my husband. It's the 45mm circle is the one that I used, and let me just adjust this camera down without turning the thing over like I did yesterday, because I promise I'm not as interesting to look at as this stuff. Okay, so I've already done the circles just in the interest of saving time, but I just put this on the mat board, traced out my circles, and this little circle maker, it's got the little marks on it so that you know where the center of your circle is in both directions. So on my circles, on one, I marked my center on one. On the other, I marked the center in all directions, and I'll show you why I did that on this one in just a minute. So, okay, hold on just a second. Alexa, volume down. Okay, so we're gonna just cut these out. And I just use this piece of scrap wood under blade while I cut these. And with this mat board and your blade, you probably won't cut all the way through it the first time going around. You can go a second time if you want. Oh, look at that. Oh. Whoa, first time, but I won't do it the second time. Okay, so I just go kind of slow. The circles don't come out to be exact circles sometimes, but we can fix it. It's cardboard. We're not going to really do anything to it that we can't fix or start over on, because it's just cardboard. It's not like it's an expensive piece of wood and we only get one shot at this. So that one didn't. So we'll just take scissors and trim it out. Okay. So now I have two. One's going to be the seat and one's going to be the bottom. Top and the bottom. Okay. So since they're not exactly circular, if you can see that, they're not perfect, which is okay. I'm not perfect. I'm going to take my little expensive sanding tool here that is, of course, a nail file, but it fits perfectly in my hands, and it's perfect for sanding mat board or foam or whatever. And it's cheap. And you can get them anywhere. These edges. I have 2 of the 3 cats in here, so I hope I don't have to stop and let anybody out. They want to be with me until I'm doing something, and then they're bored of me and they don't appreciate my crafting talent. It's okay. Alright, so these are marked like that because that's where we're going to place the legs, which is going to be our coffee stir sticks. Now you can make these however tall you want, just measure them out. I just took my chair and measured the height against the table, how high I thought that a chair might sit, and I came up with 1.5 inches. So I had to then allow for the mat board bottom and the mat board seat, so I ended up with just a little under 1.5 inches. You can measure it out however you want. So I just take these coffee stir sticks and this is how I cut them. I use my little, even those pliers, they're like have a little cutty thing right there. Works perfect. Just pop it in there. There you go. It's one of my favorite things to use because, like I said, I use them expensive tools. Alright, get my crazy glue. This one's crazy glue. It's not my favorite glue to use, but I can't find the other stuff, so. No, I don't know what to do with it. Okay, so I'll just put a drop of crazy glue. You can use wood glue on here. It's going to hold. It just takes longer to grab. So just put a drop of crazy glue in my coffee stir stick. And you can do it however you want. I like to go opposite. So if I do that into the straight line, I'll do the opposite into the straight line. I don't know why I do that. I just do. I didn't have baking soda. Normally what I would do just to make that bond a little stronger and a little more solid is once I put the crazy glue on there and put my coffee stir stick on there, I would put a little baking soda on that because baking soda, for some reason, I don't know, chemistry, there's something in the baking soda that will set this crazy glue hard as a rock. It just does. So I normally like to keep a little baking soda in a little dish, a little plastic spoon, and when I use crazy glue, just put a little baking soda on whatever I'm using crazy glue, and it works like a charm every single time. But I don't have any crazy glue. I do have crazy glue. It's in my hand. Baking soda. Ouch. I swear that thing didn't just fall over. Okay. And we have one more side to do. And if you cut your coffee stir sticks and they're not exactly straight or they're a little whatever, you can just use your perfect little sander there and sand them down. Or if one's longer than another. Because if you're like me and you always cut a straight line. Okay. Put too much glue on that one. No, I didn't want to catch too great, and it's taking too long. baking soda really would have come in handy for this, because I used way too much glue on that one. But also, the quick tight glue is my favorite. It's the one that's in the bottle that's got the black lid that like looks like it screws down on it. I think it's the quick tight glue. That's my favorite crazy glue to use. This one, I'm okay with it, but I like the other one better. It's just personal preference. Okay, so I'm going to push this over and let that sit there for a minute, and we're going to talk about the back. Okay, for the back, I just cut out a little paper template of what the back should look like, what a half of a barrel shape would be, and I transferred that to this box. You can see I did it a couple of times because I started this, actually I started this video yesterday. I got about this much of it done, and the cats wouldn't leave me alone, and it was like 80 something degrees, and my husband said, do you want to go for a motorcycle ride? And I was like, oh sure, let's go for a motorcycle ride. So I had to stop and give myself a break. And I didn't know how to edit the video together from where I stopped, and my kids were busy, so they couldn't show me how to do that right away. So I just thought, well, I'll just start over while everybody's in the bed this morning before church. So now what I'm doing is I'm just taking this piece of cardboard that I cut for the back, and I'm just rolling it just to bend it up. And I'll roll it one direction, and then I'll just turn it back and I'll roll it the other direction. And all that's going to do is just allow me to be more flexible with that piece of cardboard. I mean, it's already thin cardboard because it's like from this Ghirardelli brownies. So, I mean, a cereal box, macaroni and cheese, whatever box you have that you're going to put in your recycle bin, you can use that. Just cut you a strip. What I like to do, because this painted side is usually a little bit shiny, and sometimes glue does not like to stick to it. So I'll just take and sand that a little bit, not all the way, just enough to take some of the shine off of it, just because I'm going to be gluing onto it. So, okay, now, this is going to be the seat, and this is going to be the back. So now you can see it's going to curve perfectly because that cardboard is very flexible. Wood glue is going to work perfectly for this, and I'm going to use the brown side inward. You can use either side you want. I just prefer the brown side inward. I put a little too much glue. There's a piece of my scrap cardboard here to kind of spread that out a little bit. Okay, now this is going to hold quick, and it's going to hold permanently because it's pretty much paper to paper using wood glue. You'll just have to hold it for a second while it starts to bond. Spread my glue out. Okay, can you see the bottom? And, well, turn it around a little bit. The back and the front. I got a little bit of a glue mess in there, but we'll have to clean that up. Where's the piece of my extra coffee stir stick? Just scrape some of that glue out. Not that I have to, because it will dry and we're going to paint it anyway, but it'll just dry quicker if I get some of that glue out of there. Okay. So, these are my pieces. This one and this one. And this is going to go on here to make that seat. And that's going to be pretty easy to do. Again with the wood glue. This you'll have to let set for a little bit because it takes longer for the coffee stir sticks to adhere to the glue than it did for cardboard to adhere to glue.